the Bank of Ireland Bright Ideas Challenge, in association with Kernel Capital and the Business Innovation Centres.
Before the break, we looked at Eventivate, a company that provides software to the hotel industry so that they can manage and monitor weddings, conferences and other big events. The software developed by Jonathan and Jason Ruan has earned Eventivate a place in the final round of the Bank of Ireland Bright Ideas Challenge. The company now wishes to branch out into the international market.
We've overcome lots of challenges to get us to this point, and we feel that we've really addressed a need that's out there and that there's no key competitors for across the globe. So we feel that we've got an enormous amount of opportunity.
Here to offer them guidance and financial advice is John Abbott from Abbott Consulting in Dublin, Marc O'Dwyer from Big Red Book, and Billy O'Connor from Enterprise Builder. Each of the mentors were on hand to offer their expert opinions to Jonathan. John Abbott is an IT and insurance industry expert with nearly 2 decades of experience. He has worked in many roles, and before founding Abbott Consulting, he ran the software development department in AXA. He is an experienced project manager, a qualified CMMI assessor, and he has a broad depth of knowledge in all aspects of software development and management.
Eventivate have a brilliant product for the hotel industry, and it's brilliant for 2 reasons. It will allow the hotel industry to reduce their costs of running events, and secondly, it will give a value-added service to their clients, which should increase the revenue. So any product that can increase your revenue and reduce your costs at the same time is a brilliant product, in my opinion.
Jonathan, good to see you again.
Good to see you, sir.
The last time we were here, Jonathan, we went through Eventivate and all the software that you have and the way it's built. I have to say it's a fabulous piece of software.
Right.
I can see how every hotel in the country who runs events will want to buy your software, and not just in Ireland, in the UK and abroad.
Great.
We looked at your strengths, and your strengths are many. The only area that we identified that we could possibly do some work on was the speed of integrating the software for a particular client.
Great.
So configuring the software.
Yeah.
That seems to be a challenge that you have at the moment. And the last time we spoke about how it took us typically between 7 or 8 days to configure the software for a client, and how we should approach that going forward.
Yeah, I'd completely agree. I think that summarises it quite well versus our point of view and how quickly we can scale.
Eventivate have one major weakness at present, and this can be overcome. But the big weakness they have is that from the time they sign up a new client, it takes 7 days to get that company up and running on their software. This is due to the way that it's configured at present. So they need to put some investment into how that can be speeded up to reduce that time frame down to a day to 2 days for every new client. If they don't do this, it means they can only realistically roll out to about 40 to 50 clients a year. Whereas if they can reduce that time frame, they could probably roll out to a couple of 100 clients a year. And this is what Eventivate need to invest in to take them to the next level.
I think a good approach going forward would be to leave your existing development team working on the front end as you build up. And what I would do is I would approach the colleges that have computer science degrees, and I would try and recruit 4 or 5 students on work experience. And it's a win-win solution, because you'll get people who can come on board and can work in your back office and speed up the amount of time it takes you to integrate with your clients. They'll gain very valuable experience on a very exciting project. You're using all the latest technologies. You are a software as a service provider, so you are providing cloud computing solutions. You're writing your software in .NET, so it's cutting edge technology. The students would love to get 6 or 7 months valuable work experience. You'll get a workforce that can focus on the back office integration, and I think that will put you in a position where in 6 months' time you'll be able to roll out 4 or 5 installations a week as opposed to 1 every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Having a skilled workforce in place will determine the success of a product, and John wants to make sure that Jonathan has talented people to support him while maintaining the company's costs.
The second thing that I'd like to talk to you about is an organisation called Eurocloud. Because you are a software as a service provider, I think it might be of benefit for you to join this organisation. Eurocloud Ireland is a non-for-profit organisation that has been set up to promote the benefits of cloud computing to the Irish business community at large, also as a platform to lobby for standards and everything else within the industry, and also to provide a platform for suppliers like yourself to cross-sell into Europe. Because Eurocloud Ireland is part of an umbrella group. There are 15 Eurocloud member states at the moment. So I think if you join this organisation, you will have the opportunity to network with other suppliers of software as a service all around Europe. And you may well find a European operation that are selling something else into the hotel industry who would resell yours as part of their offering.
Yeah.
This could allow you to expand into the European market without investing in salespeople and offices and everything else all around the world. I think it could be hugely beneficial. It's €150 for a company with a turnover of less than €1 million. So it's not a big investment from your point of view, and I think it will be a great way of promoting Eventivate all around Europe at a very low cost today.
Okay. I think it's a great idea. I mean, there are so few groups out there that are actively promoting the type of technology we're talking about, this cloud computing or SaaS software as it's called. And for us, there's no doubt about it, this is the future of all software globally. So for us to be involved with an organisation like that can not only promote the needs of our type technology in Ireland, but also across Europe, and also potentially connect us in with resellers, with potential customers all around Europe overnight, that would be a fantastic initiative for us. So we'd be very keen on getting involved with Eurocloud.
I think that would be a good decision.
Great.
I think Eventivate will be a worldwide international success in a very short space of time.
Marc O'Dwyer from the Big Red Book has a renowned reputation in sales and business development. He took over the Big Red Book in 2001 when it was losing money. After 2 months under Marc's leadership, the company turned a corner and became profitable, a true testament to his entrepreneurial capabilities.
I think Eventivate is a very exciting product and a very exciting company. The guys seem to be pretty innovative. They have a very good product which I feel will sell very well and has sold very well for them so far, but there are a few areas that I would be a little bit concerned about. Jonathan, good to see you again.
You too.
We've obviously spoken over the last couple of weeks, which has been great and very informative. Congratulations on your success to date.
Thanks very much.
Great company. Just wondering about your pricing model. You have a fixed price initially for hotels for the software. I'm wondering, do you have a specific price for smaller hotels or larger hotels or hotels that would have larger group bookings of weddings or not? Okay.
What we very much focused on is, in terms of our pricing, is having better pricing where we work with larger groups. So in other words, if a hotel chain has 10 individual hotels, we'll certainly look at doing discounting from that point of view. But actually, from one hotel that has 100 weddings a year versus another hotel that has 50 weddings a year, it costs us the same to deliver the software, host the servers, do the backup, do the training, integration, etc. So we don't really differentiate on pricing based on the individual size of the property, but very much on the size of the group that we're dealing with.
Okay. You're hoping to sell internationally.
Yep.
I know you were talking about getting into the UK.
Yep.
I think earlier on you mentioned that you probably have one sale in there.
We've already signed up one who approached us, actually. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Have you put in place a financial system to cater for international expansion? So multi-currency accounting and multilingual.
Yeah. How we look at our company is we want to be experts in developing software for our customers and selling and implementing that exceptionally well. So for us, the internal functions of accounting and payroll, for example, are not somewhere where we intend to invest, certainly in the medium term. So as we grow and internationalise, we'll be outsourcing that function, both the accounting, the payroll.
Moving a product into the international market is a positive step, but ensuring that the proper accounting, financial and communication networks are in place is an area that cannot be overlooked.
I think they're looking to the bigger picture, which is the UK market, which is obviously, it's not a bad thing, but I do think they need to get their own home in place first and get enough customers. They should have between 40 and 50 customers in Ireland before they look to go to the UK. Jonathan, I know you are talking about raising BES finance, Business Expansion Scheme finance. There's two options there. You can go with a fund where you're dealing with one fund manager, or you can deal with numerous investors. What option are you deciding to go with?
We've decided to go down the road of individual investors, and for us, what we're hoping to achieve by that is to get on board people who can both bring money and experience to the company. And by focusing on the individual investor route, that achieves that for us. And the benefit there is, of course, that not only do we get access to the cash we need to grow, but actually we get access to new customers, experience, business knowledge, and an ability to actually help us expand and grow quicker.
So, Jonathan, as your business grows, it obviously expands. So have you looked at the server capacity that you require for your website and your hosting your hotels?
Yeah. We've got a great local Irish supplier called Black Knight that are one of the best companies in Europe, if not the world, at this. And what they offer us is the ability to scale our servers and our capacity as we grow, which is fantastic.
Okay. A lot of the startup innovative ideas come from the individual, and it's down to the individual and their drive and their enthusiasm. So to make it success, you have to realise what your weaknesses are and employ people to plug those weaknesses. I believe Jonathan and Jason will do that with a management team, that they will bring in people that will cover areas that they're not so good at. Obviously, Jonathan is passionate about the product and he's selling it at the moment, but can Jonathan sell it in France and Germany? What are his language skills like? I don't think he can. So he's going to be limited to Ireland and the UK. So provided, one of the biggest pitfalls for a startup is not realising your weaknesses, and you feel you can do everything within the 8-hour day, and it turns out that you only have 2 hours to do your selling and you have 6 hours to do your administration. But if they bring in people to help them and they're not unwilling to do that, that's where they will become successful.
Billy O'Connor is the National Director of Enterprise Builder, who recruit mentors countrywide to offer businesses a free diagnostic of their company. Billy has worked with many enterprise board clients and has a vast amount of experience in facilitating change in client companies by helping them maximise their true potential.
I met Jonathan and Jason recently, and I was very impressed with their enthusiasm and their passion for their product and service. They have a good background in sales and marketing, and I believe that with direction and focus, I think they're going to make this a really suitable product for hotels, who I think are going to gain, and I think their customers are going to gain very much from using this particular product. One of the big challenges in the current environment, as you know, is money and affordability, and this could be perceived by some hotels who are, as you know, going through the doldrums at the moment in a lot of cases, as a nice-to-have service. And so therefore there's going to be a serious efforts going to be made in order to try and build relationships with the decision makers in these hotels to say this is something that you really want and need. And the question is, can they afford it? I think it is something that will save costs, quite honestly, and will avoid the bride and groom constantly going back to the hotel and asking them for this, that and the other. It's a very important time for the bride and groom, as you know. So I think this is going to be a useful service. I asked Jonathan about his budget and his plans and his strategic thinking and planning for the next number of years. And of course, Ireland is a limited market. There are a certain number of decision makers in the industry. If he converts all of those, fantastic. And I know that he's working at the moment to try and get a reference site here. One of the areas that he obviously is thinking about because of his background is going to the UK and going to Europe. And I would very much encourage him to do that. Then you'll get scalability. Then you'll get. But he has to make money in this. It's okay to just have, as I say, a nice-to-have service, but you've got to start making money on this. We all know that there are lots of businesses out there that are struggling at the moment, and there's nobody has been immune from this. My advice to clients would be to sit down and to think about, be clear as to where exactly it is the business needs to be. So setting goals is a very, very important aspect. The goals need to be specific, they need to be measurable, they need to be achievable, they need to be realistic, and they need to set a time as to when these are going to be achieved. Make your goals exciting, but of all, write them down. Goals that aren't written down are like smoke, and they will evaporate into thin air. I have healthy scepticism when I go on and talk to businesses, and in particular with Jonathan and Jason, I really ask them about their business and whether this is actually going to work. I went and had a look at one of their reference sites in a hotel in the south, and I have to say the hotel manager and the staff who have installed it are very impressed with it. I think this is going to be a good product, so well done, guys.
Bank of Ireland Bright Ideas Challenge, in association with Kernel Capital and the Business Innovation Centres.